Hello pool players, I got a very cool video I want you guys to check out today. We're going to take a look at a 240 frame per second view of the draw shot. I'm also going to cover the mechanics of how we set up and why a lot of players miscue. So without further ado, let's check it out. I first want to show you a miscue and why the mechanics are so important. How many times have you done that? So now let's slow it down and we're going to zoom up here to see why that actually happens. What we're seeing is tip drop. Now let's take a look at a close-up and freeze frame it. Here you'll see the tip go right at the base of the cue ball, which scoops it off the table. Here I've added a reference line so that we can watch the cue shaft as it comes into the cue ball. Notice here that it'll drop right at impact, and here I'll reference that with a secondary line, and it shows the gap of how far we've dropped the tip. So what causes tip drop? Notice here that I'm addressing the cue ball at the point of impact, and notice my lower arm is not perpendicular to my upper arm or at 90 degrees to it. So now let's take a look at some motion with our lower arm. When our lower arm passes 90 degrees at impact on the cue ball, we lift the back of the cue, which then drops the tip. As my grip hand passes 90 at impact on the cue ball, you can see how much I lift the back of the cue, thus forcing the tip downward to the cloth. This in turn causes the cue ball to be scooped off the table. So here I've moved my hand back on my cue so that my lower arm is perpendicular to my upper arm or at 90 degrees. From here, now let's look at the tip. Notice here that the tip goes straight through the cue ball rather than dropping at the point of impact. As I zoom up here, we can watch the tip go through the cue ball and hold a nice straight line. I'm now slowing it down even more so that we can see the action of the tip as it goes through the cue ball. Notice how it goes straight through and doesn't drop until after the cue ball. It's time now to take a look at an actual draw shot. Now let's take a look at the tip in slow motion as it goes through the cue ball. What you can't see here, but I will show you when I zoom up, is that the cue tip will actually be driven down to the table at point of impact on the cue ball. And here I've slowed it down even more so that you can see the tip as you watch closely how the tip gets driven down to the table at impact. Now let's zoom up on a stop action freeze frame. Here you see I'm hitting the target perfectly as I go through the cue ball to draw it back. Now watch how the tip gets driven downward as it contacts the cue ball. I want to point out that I'm shooting with an 11.8 Z3 Predator shaft. The Z3 shaft is very flexible, thus it flexes downward at contact on the cue ball. The main point in this video is to make sure your arm is at 90 degrees at point of contact with the cue ball. As you go through the shot, you'll hit your intended target on the cue ball, driving straight through, drawing the cue ball straight back. And if you address the cue ball with your arm too far forward of 90, you'll lift the butt of the cue, which drives the tip downward at point of impact, thus causing the cue ball to be scooped off the table. So to reiterate, if you feel like your hand is too far forward on your cue, simply slide it back so that your lower arm is 90 degrees to your upper arm at point of impact. From here, you'll have the confidence not to miscue. It's my hope that this tutorial makes you a better drawer of the cue ball. If you found this video to be helpful, please share this video with others as it'll help my channel. Additionally, please hit the like button, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see another informative video, watch this one right here, and until next time, like I always say, keep on practicing.